Good evening and welcome to the town board meeting for the town of Tusten for June 13th. If you call the meeting to order and please join in the pledge of the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First announcement is July 4th upcoming. We've got the Fireman's Parade, the Fireman's Chicken Barbecue, and also the Chamber of Commerce and the Youth Commission have the field days down in July or during July. Our payment of bills, the general fund expended $62,436.38. Highway $8,037.23. Water, $23,922.07. Sewer, $22,086.65. General capital was $18,160. Capital highway was $381,551.40. And capital water was $106,148.50. For a total of $692,342.23. Those capital are the bills on our ongoing projects. The capital general was our bond payment on the bank building. I think Bruce and Kevin did bills.
Yeah,
Any questions or comments or?
no, it's just that capital highway, that's Rutledge, right?
That is the second one. That's the temporary bridge that went in. Most of it is a temporary bridge that went in.
Pond is back.
Life is good.
Yeah, turtles are happy.
You take it.
Not yet. I saw someone fishing and I'm like, buddy, you gotta faith, the water just arrived.
They were concentrated.
They stopped it.
A motion to pay the bills is presented.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second.
I'll second
I have a second. Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Our highway, water and sewer, building department, they are all online if people wish to take a look at them. Nothing jumps out. Upper Delaware Council here, no, okay. Energy Committee, we will have a discussion about some of that that's being done with some quotes that were received, I believe is on the agenda. And we're just waiting for further word on the horse transfer. Zoning Revision Committee,
Well, we're winding down. Peter is just filling in some gaps and then we'll.
he's working on the Cody 360
I guess.
currently, yeah, that's what it looks like. Trying to get that ready. Water and Sewer Committee,
We met on Monday. I don't, what do we have? Anything?
I think we're gonna have that meeting tomorrow. That's
Yeah,
about-
tomorrow is more important, actually.
Right.
Our representatives from RCAP are coming and we'll see what they have to tell us. The other, well, okay, yeah, that's water and sewer. Next, grants.
yes,
I didn't send you reports. With the next round of the UDC grant is due in August, so we will take care of that. We're waiting on the grant to hear about for the CAC and the plan for that. We'll probably hear about that in either August or September. Then the other, well, I don't know if it's good news or bad news or not news, but no, there's good news. Delaware Engineering called that the bill, which is the bipartisan infrastructure law. Originally, we were turned down to apply for that, but they have now sent a letter saying that perhaps we should apply for additional funding from original grant that we've received. So Delaware Engineering will do that. There might be some other opportunities, but I'm not about that. We did receive the check from Sullivan 180, we received $20,000 towards the pavilion down on the flats. And we're working on that because we need to get bid documents and get that out to bid. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think
I think
that's
that
it.
was everything that you guys covered. Tusten Youth,
So I've heard from a few people that we want to have a monthly Tusten Youth report, so I'll give you a quick.
Yes.
So we have the annual Fourth of July event coming up on the fourth from 3:30 to 8:30. We're still looking for some additional volunteers. We have a lot of fun stuff planned. We still have a parade is happening in town. It starts at 3, and the fire department has invited anyone to join in as long as it's not political in any way. Our weekly after-school program still continues. We do have this week and next week. And then it will be over for after school. However, we are still planning a weekly summer program for the 7 weeks. Preparations for Halloween are underway. We are planning another haunted house. And we are going to Kalahari in November, and we still have 14 rooms available if anybody is interested in coming. You don't have to have children to go to indoor water park. Anybody can go. It's fun, but you get to go with your community, so you can see the kids from the community in the indoor water park, and you put your feet in the water, and it's wonderful.
The after-school program, I understand that's at its limit.
We have had a steady 30 kids every week, and every week we have a few kids on the wait list. But it's ages 7 to 15.
It's really, they're building into a really cool
Yeah.
after-school community too. It's
Yeah.
really fun to see.
We're hoping that we can increase that number, as long as we get the hands-on volunteers to maintain the support. But all families have said that their children really, really needed this. And
How many families do you have in Tusten Youth? You don't know off the top of your head.
in Tusten, that live in Tusten directly, or
That
families
live-
that,
that live in Tusten.
I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
she didn't know there was gonna be a test.
I didn't-
No, I
didn't-
know, I'm just asking,
I can say that we have a solid 75 children that live in Tusten that we see regularly. And that alternate, but sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. We're getting more and more families with children in the area, which is really nice, especially younger ones.
Mhm.
And it's been really nice to see the homeschool students get to interact with some of their
Yeah.
peers
Yeah.
from the public schools or the
Mhm.
homeschool schools.
Mhm.
Have you been in touch at all with the library, kids programming?
I have not.
Yeah, it's, I'll
I
make
know,
some
I think
calls.
Kelly reached out, she's our treasurer, she has reached out to them, and we were discussing that we'd like to do something. So that the children, since we do have the back entrance here, we're able to allow, especially the older kids, if they have research projects, or they do have some public space over there for the kids to go to. So we're trying to increase our space a little. and work
Yeah, I
together.
mean, they're starting their summer reading program. So I mean, I'm saying, it sounds like it's 2 +
Yeah.
2 = 5. I mean,
Yeah, no, I think that's great, and we'll definitely, yeah, that Kelly, I know you're on.
it's a great thing too, because after the school closed, you really didn't see a lot of kids used to live at the library to
Yeah.
wait for the parents.
Yeah.
and coordinate. It's nice seeing all this
And
happening.
We saw a decline after school closed, but
Yeah.
every year we see a nice increase.
Yeah, it's great.
Any other questions? I will open the floor for public comment before going into old business. Anybody from this floor? Or anybody from Zoom?
Kelly says that yes, we have been collaborating with the library.
Good.
That's the only thing.
Moving into old business 4.1 is the Park Pavilion. We have a proposal from Charles Woods Associates Architect in Honesdale. Has met with Jane and myself over this, a motion to sign a contract with them. This time is of the essence because you've got a October 1 deadline.
Yes.
And this has to be bid because of the amount of money that needs to be expended on it in our procurement policy. So what I think we'd also be finding is that At the end of this meeting, we would be recessing so that the yet to be formed committee can meet with the building committee and the park committee can meet with the architects in order to finalize a plan and then put it out to bid. That sound,
Where, I just read it, but where is the, document?
where's which part?
Yeah, this.
Yeah, do you want my? I got another copy.
Oh, let's have it. Oh, here it is.
The total fee is for $60
And that, okay, the rate, the addition,
with a
Oh, there.
retainer of $2,500 to start. And then additional services available if
and
requested.
and it's all of this for total.
And just for everyone's edification, we have a grant for $20,000.
We have a grant for
That is a
$20,000.
matching.
It's a matching grant, which can be used in kind if we use, say, the highway department to do some of the excavation work. That would be counted as in kind towards the matching part.
So if this raises concerns for anyone, it's 30% of the grant. The $6,000.
No.
What's the threshold for bid? When do you have to go out to bid?
Our public works is 20,000, I believe.
And the estimate was 32 for the construction.
Oh,
For
okay.
construction. This is just for the bid documents and the. design.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Think it was low, but-
All right, you want a motion, right?
I would accept a motion.
That we sign the contract with Charles G. Woods Associates for the park pavilion. Plans and whatever it's included in. Let's see. Or, it's right here.
Yes,
It's here for the design, construction documents and construction administration for a new pavilion.
And you said it was $6,000 with a retainer of 25 to start?
correct. Was that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
No second.
Further discussion? Comments?
Hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Is that 2,500 to be written out today?
We can do that today since it's been approved by the
It won't
board.
be on the late bill.
As part of that, establish a park pavilion committee. This is so that, the design can be approved. So my suggestion was to use the building committee, which myself and Jane. And then Jane, you had people for the,
Yeah, I'm still trying to locate one other person, but I think that someone from Tusten Youth should be on it. And someone that lives on the flats. should
and
be on
Greg, you had a suggestion as far as a person on the flats,
Yes, Harvey Weiss.
and he is,
I can talk to him about it, knowing. No,
Is-
I
is-
did not feel that we were at that point, but I can talk to him about it.
and since he's not here to deny it, we can.
You could just contact them. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I move that we establish a park pavilion committee to work with the building department.
And that would include someone from the Tusten Youth, which would be Crystal Weston. You wanted somebody from Tusten Social?
Yes, I really just think we need 4 people. I might knock you off.
You could do it with 4 people. I'll still show up though.
Yeah, that's fine. So it would be a board member, a Tusten social member, a Tusten youth member, and a member of the Blacks
Okay.
community.
We should name those people tonight,
Okay,
with the obvious understanding that Harvey may or may not wish to do this.
okay,
Um,
all right, so it's Crystal, you wanted to be on it? Is that it?
My board has nominated me to be on it.
Okay, so it's Crystal Weston from Tusten Youth. Greta Knudsen from Tusten Social. Jane Luxinger from the board, from the building committee. And
Harvey Weissman.
yes,
that I can be the tie-breaking vote.
So you can have 5.
Oh, yeah, okay, when you're on it, you're back. Sorry.
He's killing
What
me.
happens when you open your mouth?
Look what happened to Harvey and he didn't.
You did.
Yeah, and. put
Harvey
that on
comes with
to
Larry
your
comes.
body.
So it's looking for motion.
Yes,
Who's gonna second that?
somebody want to second it?
I'll second.
Okay. thank
Further
you.
discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed. There's nothing at the bid at this point in time. That would have to wait till, we. Go ahead.
You decide if you, are you able to authorize that to go out to bid? Or do we have to, you have to hold another meeting?
I think we're gonna have to hold another meeting because we don't have the bid specs, correct?
Okay.
I'm wondering, I don't know how to do this, Ken. I'm wondering, instead of Park Pavilion Committee, that it's called the Park. There were two things that we said we would do in the ground, a mound and a pavilion. So I think this committee should deal with both of those, don't you think?
How about just a park committee and they
Yeah.
can deal with that?
Well, but it's not the ball field, it's just the park.
It's still part of the park.
Okay, so can we just strike the word
You
pavilion?
can call it anything you want.
Oh, but do we need another motion?
No,
What?
Well, if you've already named it that and established.
yeah. I make a motion that we rename the park committee to the park committee.
I'll second that. Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed.
Nay.
It's gonna be a strong way out of it.
4.2, our bond resolution, was filed. This is for our highway project, so we are awaiting the expiration of time for that to move forward. I don't think there's anything more to report on that.
No, Chris, I need you got the docs for me?
I don't have the affidavit yet. I'm
Okay,
waiting
you're waiting for the
affidavit.
publication,
Yes.
okay.
They wait until the final publication before they send that to me.
And then you're gonna send me the whole.
And then I'll
epistle?
give you everything.
Okay,
But it's all ready to go. I put it in both papers because
you were able
the,
to get them in.
the reporter, I think it was like day 7 or something.
As
So
long
I'm
as
like, you
as
know,
long as they're no
it
more than 10,
was within
yeah, you're fine.
for the first day of published, so I just sent it.
New business. Our workshop is for July 4th. If we still want to have it, we can and have our chicken and beer here. I said we could have it on July the 3rd and the youth commission almost killed me, so I think we probably want to cancel our meeting.
Commission almost.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any business, you can just email it, right?
Yeah. There should be. The only thing that we're working on at the workshop right now is the ambulance corps.
Right.
So we can do that. I can get the reports to the board.
No, I won't be at the July meeting, just an FYI. I won't be the.
Don't worry, we won't appoint you to anything.
Just for the sake of when the agenda and note, minutes get posted, this says July 4th, 2034.
Thank you.
As opposed to 2020.
I appreciate that. It's been a long day.
But if we do get ambulance data, I would like to see it.
I do have an email that came in to me from Craig. And I believe, yes. It just came in today, so. I
I
will,
don't need a motion to cancel the meeting, correct?
um,
The workshop.
Do we need a motion, right? No.
Yeah, because it's advertised.
established,
Right.
yeah, it is.
So you
established.
should.
So I'll make the motion.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And we'll update the way.
That's the email from
Right.
Craig for the beginning of the information that we were looking for from the ambulance corps. There'll be more coming forward. If the board has anything that they're looking further to get, other than what we've already talked about, let me know. We'll email him and make sure that he gets what we need so I can get it to everybody.
Question, since we're talking about meetings right now. The planning board meeting. Does the town board need to cancel that meeting?
That would be the planning
It
board
can't be
chair.
held on the 27th because of elections.
The planning board has to do that.
Planning board is not gonna have another meeting before that.
I don't even know if they have business saying.
Just throwing it out there.
But I can check with Kenny and see what he's
Okay,
got.
all right, just wanted to see if there's.
But yeah, they
That's what I thought.
control
Okay.
it.
Ken, can we open a ball field account? We had the discussion that, there's a group that wishes to begin donating money to the town in order to improve the condition of the ball field. We don't have anything yet, but speaking with the bookkeeper, each of the checks or donations that come in, we would have to obviously make a resolution to accept them. Can we establish a checking account for that now, even though we don't have donations? Okay. And that's what I'm looking,
Or at least authorize it, Ben, so you're good to go.
When it
the
is
first
time.
check shows up and you can open it with that check.
okay. So that's what 5.2 is a motion to open a ball field checking account with Catskill Hudson Bank, with the signers being the supervisor and the deputy supervisor. And I will make the motion.
Second.
Do I have a second for the discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed. Budget modifications. This would be a motion to move $6,150 from the water reserves to the water capital for Delaware engineering payment. $381,552 from the highway reserve to the highway capital for the Rutledge payment. And $4,354.45 from general A1620.4 to general capital for the bond payment. All of these are monies that are in the budget for these projects. And that's a bookkeeping. Any questions on any of those? If not, I make the motion to do that, and I'll take a second.
I'll second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. 5.4, I gave the board some information regarding a current law that was passed by the state of New York that deals with prevailing wage for aggregate hauling. That's what 5.4 is. It's something we can look at over the next month to determine what we want to do, if anything, on it. Part of it is a resolution for not in favor of it, and then there's another thing in there asking towns to become party to litigation with the state of New York about that, and I believe that council has an opinion about that.
It's gonna cost you a lot of money to.
Yeah, they're saying that the associated towns will pay for it, but it's something that the board should look at between now and next month and decide what, if anything, we want to get involved with. I see a question coming.
Do you think something like this, this is really a hypothetical question, you didn't tell me you won't answer it, but if this starts a ball rolling about prevailing wage, they're just talking about the hauling, do you think it might mushroom into prevailing wage for our other projects?
Well, we've got prevailing wage for most all of our projects.
That's what I know.
The $20,000 and over. There's certain ones that after $1,500, according to some of the laws.
I get that, but that's what makes projects so expensive.
Yeah, I think the practical reality is the issue of whether the prevailing wage requirements would be made to go away. There's not a legal solution to that. There's a political solution to that. The purpose of the prevailing wage is to protect unions, because a non-union shop can undercut what a union shop would bid for a project. So theory is it puts them all on, it levels the playing field for the benefit of the unions. Unions have a pretty good influence in the political process in New York State, so you figure it out.
Is prevailing wage geographically sort of figured, or is it?
Yeah,
straight?
the Department of Labor publishes schedules with the different wages for the different types of work, get paid different wages, and it's regional. It
is regional.
Yeah.
So it really makes no sense.
Yeah, because the prevailing wage,
To a Manhattan.
in the 5 boroughs is not going to be the same as the prevailing wage for
Or Otsego or something.
If you go on the Department of Labor website, it's pretty easy to find it.
Yeah, in
Okay.
fact, if you get, like, when the engineers put together the bid pack, they actually print it out and attach it to the bid documents, the schedule, because when you do a project, you actually have to register with the Department of Labor and generate the schedule.
But once you do a project without prevailing wage, your ability to get grants and such is kind of,
Well, if
Very much
you
messed
do a
up.
project that requires, if you do a project that's subject to prevailing wage and you don't pay the prevailing wage, you're gonna wind up in a situation exposed to the labor department coming in and forcing you to pay the difference.
Your
You
ability
may or
to
may
get
not lose-
state building
lose
grants
eligibility
will
for
probably
grant.
vanish.
It's it's a very aggressively enforced policy and law. by the
But this
state.
may, we might sign a letter
Oh, yeah,
or something, but getting involved.
rah, 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 we're
Yeah.
in favor, we're in support, but I would be very careful about committing resources
Right,
that you,
To a losing battle.
well, a tough battle, or more than a tough battle.
And it's one big hit. It's a 45% increase. In one hit.
That's what they're estimating.
Yeah.
so a letter to Gunther saying that this is gonna be a huge,
Well, that's my
budgetary,
point
whatever.
really, is that that's an example of how the prevailing wage influences how much we pay. It really is crazy that we have workmen that are quite qualified in our own town, and we can't pay them what they normally get paid. We have to triple it.
there's another side to that too, which is, I've seen this on the library board. I know contractors don't want to deal with the departments of labors, either Harrisburg or
it's-
Albany, because of the paperwork.
It-
They
it's
don't
the-
have a back office.
There's
They don't wanna-
there's record keeping requirements for the employer too. It's not for the employer. The other thing is, an employer, a contractor who you engage, who if he's a sole proprietor, you don't have to, he can charge, you don't, have to- he doesn't have to be paid for prevailing wage, but if he's got employees, boom.
And that's where the certified payroll comes in,
Yeah.
which we also got today from Rutledge.
Yeah.
We got all of
No,
that.
I know that they're doing it, but I was at another meeting when somebody from a different town asked the new legislative representative about this, because does, jack up the price of everything.
Yeah, but also limits the number. I've had contractors that said, I'd rather do 10 jobs for private individuals than one job for a municipality or an institution and have to keep records for 10 years.
Yeah,
He just
well,
said it was a headache. It was interesting. He
It
was
is
turning
interesting.
down prevailing wage money to avoid the bureaucracy. It was enlightening.
So what are you asking us? You're asking us? Oh.
Just bringing it to you to think about over the next week when you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning with nothing to
Yeah,
do.
and then I'll email you and say something.
5.5, the Water and Sewer Committee had discussion about ways to remedy the heat dissipation at the
Mhm.
This was my lattice idea.
That's right.
So
I'm
just thinking of a resolution with the board authorizing it, whatever you come up with.
I think maybe we should have some conversations with Dave and Don and,
Well, let's see who comes tomorrow too. and
Yeah.
Have a conversation then.
but I mean, I'd like to see, maybe Dave would say that's pointless,
Right.
before we get a resolution, I didn't want
I'm
to
just
talk,
thinking if we do a resolution authorizing you to do it, doesn't mean you have to.
right,
But this way, if it's something that tomorrow you can say, hey, we could start on that.
right,
This way in July and August, our hottest months, we're not waiting
right,
for.
okay.
the July.
It doesn't seem like it's complicated.
No, so it'd just be a motion to authorize the Water and Sewer Committee to
Look into
Look
ways
into-
to,
look into and as per the procurement policy, work with the superintendent of water and sewer on a feasible aesthetic answer to our. heat
Yeah, just ivy
dissipation.
lattice, something to block the sun.
That pump station was paid for by FEMA.
Oh.
The original one got flooded, went underwater.
That's why it's here. So I have a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? UDC tag grant, did we give you authorization or do you have another tag grant you're going after?
no, I guess you didn't. I think it makes sense to do it for the Conservation Advisory Councils for a plan, a land use plan. But this is due August 18th, I was hoping to hear from the National Fish and Wildlife grant. But I don't know if we will, but anyway, if we do get that,
Do you want to hold off on this grant until July, since we've got till August?
I'm not gonna be here July though.
But you don't have to be here for us to approve you applying for it.
Right, I guess I can, tell, well, why don't we, no matter what, we want to do that project,
Right, but if you will it, if you're talking about fish and wildlife, are you going, if you go for this, will they not let you go for that?
no, this would just supplement $75,000 that we have to have matched with either grants or in kind, so I was gonna use part of this. Use this to, no, I think the UGC would approve it.
What are we gonna do about the other 67,000?
Well, give me till tomorrow. I don't know,
All right,
but we've already approved that you approved,
which one?
that we were putting in for that grant, which was $150,000, 75,000 match. And a lot of it is in kind, every meeting the CAC meets,
Right,
all
in
their
kind,
time
right.
is, all Peter Manning's time is, we came.
You're
up with
whittling it down.
Yeah. And this year, who's listening? This year, I'm gonna really boost up what we ask from UDC, because whatever we ask, they always give us less. So,
So you want to do it for the CAC project
yes,
Okay.
that's what I would like to do.
discussion,
You think that-
a motion?
Do you think that makes sense?
I think anything you can do to bring that number down makes sense.
Okay, good. So make a motion.
Make a motion to authorize the supervisor to apply to the UDC, the technical assistance grant on the CAC project.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I opposed. We did get we got 8 quotes to give us an idea if we wish to go forward and get more quotes. And this is for the town hall community room for the heating and air conditioning. For replacing the air conditioning to a heating and air conditioning pump, which would also give us the credits towards our energy recertification that is due. Right now, what I've got, and I'm sorry, I don't believe I gave it to the rest of it. It'd be $12,200 to change this air conditioning system into a air conditioning heat pump situation that would allow this to be heated. I believe Jim said that these would heat down to 10 degrees below zero in here.
How many BTUs is that thing?
That I cannot tell
I
you.
was like 12,000 sounds almost too cheap to me for a room this big.
Well, they came out and actually,
Yeah, maybe, whatever.
These split units are pretty efficient.
Oh, yeah, I have one.
I think
Wow. You know what we're doing?
I-
What if this room gets used?
the heat pumps can still be used and then just rerouted to where you want to use them. They're for the size of the room. But all this is, am I gonna continue on getting quotes for this? Because
Oh.
there's only one quote right now.
Oh,
I think you should.
Okay.
The
And
beauty
I
of
mean,
heat
it's not
pumps
for a
is-
resolution, it's just for me to go out and get,
oh,
just to continue. We only did one to see if it was gonna be something that came in so high, we don't want to bother with it. But $12,000 would probably save that in oil in the first year.
Oh, yeah. Beauty of heat pumps too. A night like tonight, you just put that thing on dehumidifier. You're not even running an AC.
Right.
In this room, we'd be wearing sweaters. And your electric bill really doesn't.
That's
go
what
up.
I was talking about, because one of the things that they talked about was a dehumidifier here, and that would take care of the dehumidifier.
Yeah, the dehumidifier, the heat pump I've had for 10 years, it's amazing in the summer. If it's 75 degrees in the house, but the dew point is low, you're wearing a sweater.
So I will keep getting quotes for that and bring them back to the board. I'm satisfied with that. Is there any other new business that I have missed?
Authorize Tusten to retroactively authorize us to go for the youth grant, 2024 youth grant. Grant funding, youth funding,
And that's through New York State?
and it's to Sullivan County Youth Bureau.
I would make a motion to authorize the Sullivan County. Authorize the Tusten Youth Committee to seek grant funding from the Sullivan County Youth Bureau
I second that.
for the year 2024. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any other business that we've missed?
Actually,
Yeah, make sure that this is like when the teacher says it's almost time to leave.
when, so the county said that they had extra funding available, they had another, $15,000 of funding available. Aside from that, the grant, for anyone that can get in any more vouchers the next day. So we applied to that. Is it something that you also have to put an approval for? Because then that would be money that we put in for the 5,000.
So you put in, you got another grant you put in for it. Or just funding.
Funding,
Authorize it, what's the harm?
our grants work on
I'm
a
sorry,
reimbursement
Authorize it,
schedule.
what's the harm?
Yeah.
Better to do it than not.
So this is a retroactive authorization of.
Both of these are, yes. The grant, now that we realize that this is something we should be doing, we'll do it every year. But the funding that we go for is, we have to spend it in order to receive it.
So
So
it's a
the first one
reimbursement
was
plan.
$1,500. And the additional, we put in for another 5,000.
Do you need a motion to apply to the county for this
Additional funding.
additional funding? I'll make that motion.
A second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Just make sure it says Tustin Youth Commission. In the,
That's
or
a youth recreational program.
whatever, just, yeah. So that it's identified in minutes. Who is going for the additional funding.
Yeah.
Okay,
Other new business?
I had a question. Could we, when meeting minutes are posted, could we send out an alert to board members just saying this has been sent out?
Absolutely.
Because I got a couple of queries about minutes for yesterday's meeting, and so rather than be in the back and forth of it, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What are we gonna do about the hayfield along Kirk's Road?
that is the design.
Well, the little furry friends like to stay in there and run out in front of cars.
There,
The deer, not the Furbies.
right,
The deer.
yes, I,
And I think it looks ridiculous with all that hay around the nice fence you just put up.
well, there's a path that defines the path.
I don't know. Doesn't look good to me. And the deer like to stand in there and then they come cruising out in front of you.
So you're saying you don't like the design?
No,
Well-
should be mowed.
Well, then that's up to you guys. That was the design that we approved, but,
But he's gone like a meadow look.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's not feasible when the deer like to stay in there and run out and onto Kirk's Road.
What if they cut it down to maybe 2 or 3 feet high?
how do you do that?
Weed whacker?
You whack it.
Yeah. To a
Well,
deer
yeah.
ankle height.
I. You can ask the guy, I mean,
I mean, I don't know, that just seems to be, if he's identifying something that is a hazard that we can mitigate without
Yeah.
making it look like a golf course and still maintain some sort of the meadow look that the design was. You know, that's something they wouldn't have to do every time. They could, you know, if it got rain, they could do that
Right.
now, and they might not do it again until August.
mhm.
You think? it
That
would-
was not part of the original bid for the mowing. There were two, weren't they
That's
going
correct.
going there twice? So I
Right,
think part of the decision has to be how much will that cost?
I believe we got in the bid specs emergency, you know, like if we had an extremely wet year, which I don't think we're going to be having. So,
so say that. We need water. Whatever.
or we'll send the
whatever
highway
board
down with
says-
their big mower.
Whatever the board says. I just, as long as the path is defined in some way.
Well, that's why I'm saying, instead of having a 4 foot where you can see the deer, just bring it down 2 feet, which is not a hard. For them to mow 2 feet off the top of that, it's not like it's gonna take them a long period of time to do it. So we can just talk to them and see what
Whatever you want.
we can come up with.
Mm.
Well, since it's a safety issue,
Yeah.
it seems like
And then
we
Jake
should
can,
do it and then.
and Jake can
judge
explain
the
to them what
results.
she wants it to look like when they're done.
Okay, all right. I think, all right.
You don't need a motion.
No,
No,
no.
it's gonna cost money. though. Maybe.
Any other new business?
Business to discuss.
Open the floor for public comment here. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, teacher, to extend the day.
Oh, no, you're allowed to. You're the public. We serve you. We pay her.
I pay her.
Exactly.
I'd like to know, where is this pavilion gonna be in the playground?
You want to be on this, on the committee?
No,
No, I know, I asked you
I
already.
did.
Well, you know, we have an idea, but I think the committee will finalize where this location
I
is.
mean, it's gonna be along the edges though, right? Not in
Yes.
the middle?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's likely to be on either side where the grasses are.
Okay, and then the other question is there any knowledge of when the sidewalk will be completed?
The slate walk?
Yeah.
Is that what you're? I keep getting promises, so I don't know what to say.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't have a date.
And
Michael.
Sue- Oh, just another thing for Sue. I sent in a list of questions about the park renovation that I'm happy to share with you, just to get an idea of the questions that are already being discussed.
Well, along that same line, actually two questions, vis-a-vis park. What does the board want to see happen? Can we get a little brief discussion of what you envision happening? And secondly, how does the ball field account interact with the park project? Are they separate entities? Are they working together?
The park and the pavilion, or the ball field and the pavilion, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, are two separate entities because the town through the grant is doing the pavilion. There is a group that has met that want to improve the field that is down there and make it more usable and more user-friendly. That is separate than the town, but the town is going to act as a funnel in order to get the work done.
Potentially at cross purposes.
Yes,
If you're doing something for the ball field and somebody's doing something else.
they're gonna, yeah, they are supposed to complement each other. When it's all said and done.
Now, how big a pavilion are we talking?
40 by 40 feet.
40 by 40.
You gotta make provisions to rent it out.
That's been a thought.
And clean it and police it and.
Yeah, everything that's done comes with other things as a result of, every good
Grant
deed,
money only goes so
right,
far.
every good deed comes with, what do we do with it tomorrow? Right. You have another question in there that I missed?
No, that
Okay,
40 by 40.
we're gonna go 10 by 10, but Crystal nixed that one.
How about a big umbrella?
Be cutting them trees down has come to haunt
Garden
everyone.
is coming down, though, Mike, the garden is coming.
Good, that thing
Yes,
needs to go.
Are they still blowing up the mountain to create a roller coaster?
This is the wrong town.
Yeah.
This is a town of,
Is it that info?
this is a town of Tusten.
Oh,
So I think you want to be at the UDC. That is a.
But to answer your question, no, we're not blowing it.
A merry-go-round, I want that.
I guess that's the place to be tonight.
Yeah, there was tons of fun.
Yeah, there were a lot. Before I go to Zoom, is there more questions here?
Are you bringing up Spectrum Frontier or not yet? Yes.
I don't believe so. We're kept, Crystal and I are working on the Spectrum and Frontier issue with pricing. So we've got prices together so far. Right now, it looks like the Frontier price is cheaper for the Wi-Fi that will go through the lights, but the Spectrum has got the better program for the board, the town building with the VoIP phones. I don't think we're ready to go there yet. Probably by the recess meeting, I'll have stuff for them.
Why don't we make something?
For your project down at the park.
Oh, to get the.
I don't think the board realized that our phone system is outdated. I like the bridges space.
I don't answer.
I think the sun here.
Do we have anybody online that has any public comment before I move to board comment? Okay,
Nope.
so I start from one end or does somebody want to jump in first?
I'll start. I was at the ZBA meeting last night and I just wanted to acknowledge the board for their hard work. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to second that. I think Neil did a terrific job. I mean, he had a contentious room and he was firm, he was fair. I think he handled it as well as a long meeting with a lot of, drama. And he handled it really well. And then the meeting proper was as succinct as could be. I think people on the planning board and the zoning board need to know that we have their backs. It's a hard job. It's a volunteer job. Sometimes you take grief from people who may or may not know what they're talking about. And I'm always concerned about getting people to be on those boards. It's not easy. And so I thank everyone who's on both of those. Huh?
Thanks, boss.
Exactly. Maybe we'll reappoint.
I don't have any comments.
Not the same.
All right, so I can make something up so I can be part of this conversation. I'm sorry, Crystal, I know you want your new phone system tonight.
It's gonna take 45 to 90 days. We don't even have an office.
That's why you need a phone.
My phone's getting forwarded to the building department right now.
So that wouldn't help it at all. Yes, we will. We will have it for him. A date for recess.
This is June.
When, first you've got to pick when you're going to meet with your committee.
Oh.
And I believe that was talked about being next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Let me look, hold on. Next Tuesday is the 20th, that's the CAC dinner. Probably more likely Tuesday.
Okay. So then we could meet on Wednesday or Thursday of that week.
Wednesday's history meeting.
I'm sorry,
Wednesday's the history meeting.
it won't take long. We could do it in the afternoon too.
Oh, yeah, okay. Then I don't.
Are you still in school?
I can't do
We're
Thursday.
in school till the 23rd,
Is it possible to call in?
but I don't mind taking a day off.
I don't believe so.
Not to participate, to listen, but
If you're doing it in the afternoon, I'll take a little time. I got enough built up.
Well, you do like 4:30.
Oh, yeah, I could be here by then.
Where?
Who cares?
On the 21st,
Yep,
what do you got
right
going?
here.
You got your kids here?
You're welcome to join us.
What time are your kids here?
They're here from 3 to 6. But it's not too shabby. We're usually on the other half of the room. We'll divide ourselves, we can take 15 minutes.
Probably not. That's,
Yeah,
that,
no.
we could do the meeting upstairs in the office on the first floor. It doesn't.
Is this time sensitive?
It,
Sort of.
it's sort of, yes, because of the fact that this needs to go out to bid. And we need to give enough time
Because we have that, we all have a seminar on the 27th, or many of us do, so I was thinking that that might be a good day because we already.
Yeah, so many working days that happen.
Yeah, it's an election day,
Election.
Let's stick with that Wednesday. What was it?
the 21st.
Yes.
And you said 4:30?
I think if we did 4:30 and we did it in we have to be accessible, so we can do the upstairs room.
We'll make sure that the wires are,
Yeah, it just needs to fit the board and anybody from the public that wants to come in.
okay,
I just don't think having a meeting with 30 kids enjoying themselves is gonna be a good idea.
Might want a finger paint.
Yeah,
paper mache.
oh, good. At least it's not messy.
So it's the 21st at 4 or
4:30.
4:30.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
If not, at least Jane or myself can fill you in the day before on what it is. To have at least your opinion there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Meeting reminder that planning board will not be held on the 27th, although we don't know if it's canceled yet or not. So that's not much of a,
Emails, and we'll keep that.
and I will make a motion to recess this meeting until the 21st of this month at 4:30 PM. To be held at 210 Bridge Street, but on the first main floor level office building.
Is there a motion you just did?
It is.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, folks.
Do we need a motion to adjourn? Oh, no.
We just
said, I'm
recessed. You
sorry.
just did it. You just
I'm
voted
sorry,
on it.
I'm sorry.